We are live. Hello, everyone. I'm Marcia, and today's interview will be with Lonely Spring from Germany. They are competing at the German national selection, so here they are. Let's invite them. Okay, let's. I'm so excited to meet the guys. Hello, Alexandre. Hi.
Guys. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you here, you guys here. So thank you so much for, first of all, for you guys accept our invitation. It's a great pleasure to us.
It's a pleasure for us to be here.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. So let's start with a different dynamic. It's like a game. It's this or that.
Okay.
So I know interviews sometimes can be a little bit boring, so let's try to do things different.
All right.
I'm cool with
So
Yeah.
that.
guys,
Go.
book or movies?
Movies for us. I mean,
Definitely movies,
we're
yeah.
both, I guess, huge cinephiles. So, yeah.
Great.
I'm not really into reading.
I wish
Um,
I was actually.
yeah.
I wish I read a lot more, but
But
Yeah.
honestly,
I
Guys,
guess,
you guys are artists, so you don't have much time for books, I understand.
that's the reason. That's the
yeah.
reason.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. That's a
leave it like
romantic
that.
way to say it, but yeah, we're more into movies. Takes less time.
Let me just say to our audience that you can make your own questions. You have a little spot here, so leave your message for guys. Okay, so let's continue. Studio or gigs?
Live, yeah, gigs. I mean, everybody who knows the band knows that this band is all about playing live and playing shows and interacting with people, and the energy in the room when we play a show is just that's an amazing feeling, and I think so. Yeah, I mean, studio is great, and we love recording, writing songs, but we do love playing live more than
I
that.
mean,
So
when we're in the studio, we always also, try to kind of capture that vibe and bring it to the
Yeah,
studio, kind of try to record the record in a way that what we do live will also be there on the record then.
yeah,
yeah.
but
Even,
live.
even when you guys are in studio, you are always thinking about how this will sound alive.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
basically that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
because I already mentioned uh, well, basically we're here for playing live. We're a live band, and everything we do in a studio, everything we record there, should be properly played live. So yeah, live. We'll go for
Live.
option.
This one might be a little bit hard to choose, but Blink 182 or Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Oh,
Blink
Blink
182.
182. That's actually not
Yeah,
quite hard to choose for us. I mean,
yeah,
we love Red Hot Chili Peppers, but
yeah.
honestly, we never like. I never was too much into their music. I mean, I love Frusciante and his playing and
Yeah.
everything, and I love playing his songs on the guitar. But Blink 182 had a way bigger impact on us than Red
Yeah.
Hot Chili Peppers
I mean,
had.
like in terms of the band,
In terms of band, yeah,
because
and
like
their songs, obviously.
I mean, like in terms of playing bass, for instance, as a bass player, like Flea's one of the bassists that probably has had the biggest influence on me throughout the years. Uh,
Yes.
because what he's doing is just very unique and his own style, and that's like really inspiring. But in terms of like the whole thing, the music and the band itself, it's definitely Blink 182.
Okay, so nice, interesting answer. So, 80s music or 90s pop?
I guess 90s pop.
Yeah.
I'm more into 90s than I am into 80s. So even though it's pop, but I'm a huge pop fan, and I mean that's like I'm not ashamed to say that.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge pop fan, and I love the 90s. I love the noughties. So that's
and you know, we get compared to, you know, the late 90s, for instance, and the early 2000s a lot, which is which is obviously like the case, like that kind of
music influenced us, like probably influenced us the most. So
yeah, so
I think yeah, we'll go for the 90s pop.
Okay. So, Netflix and chill or party hard?
I just like in
I mean,
like
for me, it's probably party hard. I don't know.
and also I think like in my I like how I understand it. I think Netflix and chill means something else. I guess I don't know if you guys know this.
Talking about just chilling, but if you want
Okay, so
to
it's
add
really just
something else to it,
okay. Yeah, I mean I love Netflix. I like watching movies and that kind of stuff. So I guess it's the both of them. Like
Yeah, it's both of them. I mean, it always depends.
50-50, I
You
think.
know, it's like, you know, sometimes I also kind of have to put myself out there, because when I'm home alone on my own watch, I sometimes feel like that's not really good for me. Sometimes I feel like I really have to go out there and be, you know, among people and among friends. But sometimes my kind of, you know, social battery is also like really exhausted, and then you know, I need a few days off, you could say that, and just
Yeah, so it's for both the
um,
best worlds, as
yeah.
Hannah Montana once said.
so it depends on the mood, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I do watch a lot of series. I do
So
watch an
both
incredible amount of series.
Yeah.
Unhealthy, probably.
So you're a TV series fan. So can I ask your favorite TV series?
At the moment, I get for both of us, I think it's The Last of Us,
Yeah,
because
at the moment,
I myself am also like when I'm not recording music and doing like and working and stuff, I'm like most of my free time I'm just playing games. So I'm a huge gaming fan, and so that's one of the reasons I love the series The Last of Us. But I also like Pedro Pascal is one of my favorite actors of all time. So that's another reason why I think The Last of Us is great. And yeah,
I mean, it's
also just a really great series.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's very good. But it also, you know, there are so many good series that I've watched throughout the years. I couldn't really say like what is the one favorite I have, but like it's always
a
like
lot of great ones.
what the current favorite is, like what I'm currently into the most, and right now it's
The Last of Us.
Last of Us. Okay, I didn't watch it, so it's
good.
It's great.
Take note series.
Even though you probably think that it's good, it's even better. That's crazy.
Okay, guys. Last question: small venue or big venue?
I mean, we're still a small band, so I think we have to go for small venue, because we don't really know how it is to play a headliner show in a big venue. I mean, we did play support shows and that kind of stuff in big venues, but we never played a headliner show in a really big venue because we're not that big at the moment. So yeah, small venue. And I love you know, when a venue is like really packed with like 200, 300 people or something, but it's a small one and it's really packed, and then there's going on there that's just amazing for us, and that's the main reason why we love playing live so much, because of the energy that is happening there. So yeah, so like, small venue. We'll go, I guess we'll go for small venue.
Okay, you guys are a small band yet. We don't know. Maybe Eurovision will be your big venue. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah.
So about Eurovision, Germany national selection. So your song, how did you choose your band's name? So Lonely Spring. Why Lonely Spring?
That's actually quite a long story. I think we had the name for some year. We have the name for some years already. I mean, we've like in this lineup that we currently have. We have that lineup since 2014, and the band name existed way before that. So
we started out as a school band kind of thing.
We started out as a school band, and like the three of us, like my brother, our guitarist, and me, we play music together since like 5th or 6th grade or something. So
basically 10 years ago.
Yeah.
2010. Yeah.
2000. Yeah. That's more than 10. That's 13 years ago. But
yeah.
Yeah. So, but we've playing music together for quite some time, and it's quite a long story. But we explained the band name in other interviews already, I think. So, yeah, it's a long story, but it's actually not that important, I guess.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. So, when did you start to make music? When did you think, okay, I want to be a musician. I want to do this with my life?
I mean, Julian and I, we started, playing the guitar at a very early age when we were like 8 or 9, and
yeah,
we actually wrote our first song when we were 11 years old, kind of.
Wow.
That was like,
yeah. I mean, it's not that. I mean, it was really. It was a terrible song, so it's not that impressive, though. No, I mean, but, I mean, when we started writing songs, we actually did write really terrible, bad songs. Until I guess the age of 16, or maybe like beyond that. So it's not that impressive that we started that early, because we weren't really that good.
Like, that was like really the time when between 11 years old and 13 years old, that was like really the time when we finally, realized that this is actually something we want to go for. And then we started that kind of school band 2010 with our guitarist already. When we were 13 years old, and when we were like 16 or 17, we formed the band as it is now in 2014. That was like the start of it, when we not only decided to that this is what we want to do with our lives, we also like actually said, now we really go for it. We want to be professional musicians, and
I guess it was always some kind of dream and some kind of thing that we just wanted to do, but it just got more serious as like the years passed by, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay,
I don't
understand that. But let me just say, it is impressive writing the first song at 11 years old, because 11 years old boys want to go play with their friends in the park. They are not writing songs about something.
I know, but on the other hand, like Mozart was like 12 years old when he wrote the greatest things, greatest musical things on earth. So that was impressive. Yeah. But writing terrible songs at the age of 11, I don't think that's too impressive. But thank you really much.
So guys, what genre of music would you say your band falls under? So how do you define yourselves?
I guess it's just pop punk music, emo music, that kind of, I will go with that kind of direction. It's kind of hard to say what it is exactly, and I think everybody out there can do that for themselves. So like, I don't really care what kind of genre we are, or what others, put us in, or in what kind of direction, like, but I guess I would say pop punk or emo music, alternative rock, I don't know, that kind of direction.
Very well. Okay, so do you have any fun or interesting stories from being on the road that you can share with us? Like some crazy story, some funny story? Tell us.
There are a lot of crazy and funny
Yeah,
stories,
there are a lot of
but also a lot of them shouldn't be told on interviews, probably. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to tell anyone any of these, but
yeah,
so
because
I mean, because
usually,
they don't just involve us,
yeah, because
they involve
that's
other
it.
people too,
So I don't
and
know if they should be told. Like,
yeah, I don't know if they, but I mean,
if people are comfortable with telling stories, if it's not just about us.
but I don't know. It's there are a lot of crazy and funny things that have already happened to us on tour, but yeah, I can't think of one particular I think at the moment. It's just because to be honest, we've been playing shows for quite some time already, so um, there are just so many things that have yeah that have happened to us during the times of touring, and I don't know. Do you know any story? I don't know.
So
So I guess
many
I mean
stories, none of them are allowed to be shared.
I
Okay.
mean no, they're
No,
not
no, no.
like
But you know, basically, when we're on tour with the band, things don't just happen to the two of us. It's like at least the four of us, and
I mean
they're not here, so I don't know if they're cool with
I mean
that.
what we can say is that I don't think that that we really act like rock stars or anything like that in any kind of way. So it's not that it's we're not that crazy to be honest. But sometimes when like we usually don't really drink during touring days when there's like a show the day after. But if there's like a day off, we sometimes do party, and when we party, we actually yeah do that quite I don't know excessively if we really do it that way. But
Yeah, I mean sometimes, for instance, like there was this in 2019, I guess there was this last show of the year, and that's like maybe a funny story, because after when we decided to go to the hotel, we called a cab, and then
oh yeah.
and we were like pretty wasted, and then
Yeah, we wanted to go to McDonald's,
yeah,
and that
Burger
was
King or any kind of
I think we went to McDonald's,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then like the taxi driver, he drove us to McDonald's because
yeah,
we told him to,
yeah.
and I was so happy about that because I thought that it was some because I like I didn't think of the fact at that moment that we're actually paying for that he like for a thing that he
Yeah,
drives us
we
to.
just got into the cab, and he like asked and when we told him that we have to go to the hotel, and then he asked him if he could like stop by a McDonald's or something.
I was so happy
And I
about
was
it. It was
like,
like, oh,
yeah,
you're so kind.
that's so nice.
That's so
Like,
nice of you. You're driving us to the McDonald's. Like you're the nicest cab driver like that is out there. Probably I've never met anyone so kind as you. But
yeah,
obviously we paid him to drive us to the McDonald's, and it cost us a lot of extra money because it took some time. But I didn't think of that. So at that, so yeah, that's kind of funny. But it's not like too crazy.
no, that's not too crazy.
I was just a bit wasted, and I thought,
That's
okay,
like pretty stupid.
it's
That's
just
funny.
so,
That's funny anyway. Like, thank you so much. Bye. So, let's talk about your song. So, how was creative process to write Misfit?
it actually was one of those songs that came together quite naturally. So it didn't take that much time, to be honest. It was like it took a few days for like the fundamental things of a song to come together. So it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and then most of the song was not the production, but the writing process was actually already finished. So we had this idea of writing a hook that is kind of like, has this like shouted vocals, like that group shout kind of vocals, and we wanted to do that for quite some time. And I was like, that was the main idea we had behind the song. And I remember our producer and me jamming. I had an acoustic guitar in my hand when we were just jamming out to some chords and singing along to them. Usually, when we're songwriting, we start by just playing some random chords and then singing some random things along to it, and that was what we did. And then I remember that was the first lyric that I had for the song. I remember singing, I was awake, I've been awake for 3 days. We just had that, and I sung those lyrics, and our producer was like, oh, that's great, let's do something with that. And from that point on, it all just came together really naturally. And then everything else around that didn't take that long. So it was a thing that just happened in some way, and it happened so naturally. And that's, I guess, what makes the song sound so so natural to me. And so it's just straight pop punk
it's just
song, and I love it. Love the song for that.
Yes, it's a great song indeed, guys. It's very, very good. You made the 90s kids happy, so thank you so much.
Right. I mean, we're 90s kids kind of ourselves, so I mean, we are.
Yeah. So, guys, what do you hope people take away from your song? What message do you want to leave on people?
I guess, as a band, what we always wanted to do was to kind of do the same things, or to make the same kind of things happen that like bands like My Chemical Romance, like the same thing that they did for us when we were like teenagers. I mean, they kind of helped us out. They got us through the day. And the song's obviously about misfits and about being misunderstood and not fitting in any kind of way, whatever that is. And if there's someone out there who listens to the song and is like, okay, I kind of feel understood, and it just kind of, that song kind of made my day, because I wasn't feeling too well, and I was like, oh, I don't know, if someone's having a bad day and listens to the song, and they're kind of cheers that person up, I think that's
sometimes you get a little lost and you feel like you're the only person on earth right now, and nobody really gets you. And this is some kind of a song that's like, it's an appreciation for all those people out there, that lets them know that we see them, that we hear them, and that we're with them, and also that we've been through the same kind of stuff. So this is not the end of the world, and it might feel like it right now, but you know, we've got through it, and we will help you get through it as well.
Great message, guys. So about the staging, what are you planning to do on Friday? So we are super excited to see you and to know more about the staging process. Can you reveal some details about it? I don't know.
Actually, we decided
to not do that,
to not say anything about the show, because on one hand, it's way cooler, and it's way more fun if people see what they see on Friday the first time. That's kind of like a surprise. If you don't know anything beforehand, I guess it will it will just be a better experience, I think. And on the other hand, we also don't know what we are actually allowed to say, so that makes everything easier if we just don't say anything. You know what I mean?
If you don't really know what to expect, you know, it's even cooler for themselves as well, because then, you know, the surprise and the show factors.
Yeah, but it's gonna be. I hope that it's gonna be a great show, and everything that we have already planned is, for us, it's cool. It's gonna be quite awesome, I think. But let's see how it turns out.
I want to see it already. Super excited for your national final, let me say, because I think it's a great package of songs. It's 9 songs. I think I like 7 of them, so that's a lot. It's great. So guys, our interview is already finishing, so I have one last challenge for you guys. So it's called Most Likely To. So you guys have to choose one of you like let me just check. Julian, Simon, Manuel, or Matthias.
Yeah.
You have to pick one of the band to these questions. So let's
Yeah.
go.
I'm already afraid that it's always gonna be me.
I don't know it, but I guess I know how it works. So yeah.
So let's go. Who is most likely to be hungry, sorry, not angry, hungry all day?
That's not me.
Who's mostly likely to be hungry? I think that
Hungry.
hungry. Oh, hungry.
Uh, our drummer probably.
No, I mean our drummer is most likely to be hungry, but he's not
Yeah.
really hungry.
I
So
mean,
it's
I
not. He's
don't
not.
think anyone in the band is ever really hungry.
I mean, we're angry a lot, but we're not hungry. I mean, we're hungry, but not angry at the same time. So I guess no one. Maybe me. I'm hungry sometimes, but
Okay, hungry. I think the answer was good indeed. So, who is most likely to become a stand-up comedian?
probably a guitarist, Manuel. He's Manuel. He's like
I mean, he's already a stand-up comedian, but like not intentionally.
not like and not officially.
Like
but
not officially and not like
he's-
really intentionally. It's like that's just how he is. He's
He's-
like
he's
just a funny guy.
Yeah, he's like probably one of the funniest guys you will ever meet, but not really intentionally. It's just like he just is that way, and it's just like it's a heartwarming. He's just got that kind of
It's
really
got like a kind of a kind of challenging humor.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you have to think about what he's saying, and it's like, okay, is it kind of ironic? You know, that's funny. You know.
Yeah.
It's like a natural talent.
Yeah.
He has.
Basically, the way he is.
Yeah, it's just give that guy a stage. Just put him on stage and let him just let him talk, and people will laugh, I think. But so he's just a funny guy, really. So I guess it's him.
So Manuel is the comedian. So
Yeah.
let's see who is most likely to get married in Vegas.
That's definitely me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no. That's
Definitely. I mean, I could imagine that.
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, it's not that I want to do it, but like I think if that happened, like people would say something like, yeah, okay. Like I think they wouldn't be surprised about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're all like, we don't, as I said before, we're not really acting like we're rock and roll or something like that. So I guess Simon is the only one who does some weird things sometimes, and
that sounds really bad.
Yeah, but if someone does weird and crazy things, it's probably Simon. So no one of the others.
That sounds not good. For
yeah,
it's not like that. I'm not a bad guy, probably.
So, like, let me check another question. Okay, who is most likely to die first in a scary movie? If you were acting in a scary movie.
I think probably Mano.
Probably also a good guy, because I think
his knee is all messed up. He can't run away.
His knee is messed up, and also he's smoking, and he's smoking quite a lot, and so he has to take he has to take many breaks to get from one point to another because he wants to
smoke. Also like the rest of us, like is at least doing some sports, and
he's
not really into
and I guess the one who would survive for the longest time would be our drummer Matson, because he's like that guy that he's like the mechanic, and he's also he's got a van, he's got a camper, and he just drives with that camper to somewhere in Italy and just survives there on his own for like 2 months. I don't know. He's just he can help himself, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last one standing, I think.
Okay, so who is most likely to forget to text back?
That's me.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I'm already really bad at it. But he's not even responding to me most of the time, which is weird because we're twins. And we see each other a lot, and it's almost like sometimes like I don't know why you even have like a phone if you don't use it.
Yeah, I mean,
And sometimes you know you have to, like, when he's with his girlfriend or with his colleague or something, you have to call or text them, because that's a lot more likely that they will respond to that.
to be honest, I have a phone because I get a lot of calls and that kind of stuff, because I do most of like the organizing stuff for our band and that kind of stuff. So, but I'm just really bad at like things like WhatsApp and sometimes, because someone texts me and I'm be like, oh, okay, I have no time at the moment. I've got no time for this at the moment, but I'm gonna text right back when I can, and then I just forget all about it. And yeah, so that's so sorry if there's someone watching and who wrote me a text message and I never wrote back, because I never write. I never.
Yeah, but you know, yeah,
not even my closest friends. I don't even write them back.
yeah. I mean, what is kind of tricky for me is I'm for instance, I'm that kind of guy. I usually, when I get a text message, I usually read it like immediately or like a few hours after that, and then I think like, okay, I'm gonna text back later on, and then I totally forget about it forever. And then
A lot.
like maybe like 4 weeks after that, I realize, oh, I didn't respond to that, and then it's already too late, because then it's like, you can't be like, sorry, I forgot about it, but it's like 4 weeks later, then it's like, now it's very embarrassing. I just, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's over.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's such a shame. Sorry, so I'm so sorry. But then you think you replied and you didn't.
Yeah.
That happens also. So, who is most likely to say something awkward at the wrong time?
To be like
That's
you,
our guitarist, I think.
yeah, a guitarist.
Because
But let me say something. Like, if the question would be who's most likely to say something awkward, it would 100% be Simon, because he's saying like he's saying a lot of things that seem awkward sometimes. But if the question is who says awkward things at the wrong time, I think it's our guitarist, because he doesn't say too much awkward. Like he doesn't. He's actually not the kind of guy that says a lot at all. So he's not talking too much. But if he does say something that seems quite awkward, it's always in the wrong moment. Like
Yes.
if he says something about if he like, I mean, you don't really should do that at all. But if he like, I don't know, if he's talking about someone that he doesn't like, that person's probably standing right behind him
but it's
at
like,
that exact moment.
Like, it's a fate. Sometimes it's so ridiculous. Like, he says something, and then like the person he's talking about is like right next to him, and you're like, this is such a weird coincidence, and it happens all the time.
Yeah, and he's not the guy that talks shit about other people too much. So he probably just says one bad thing in 1 year about a person, and if he does that, that person is standing right behind him. It's always that way.
Yes, it's definitely the wrong time. So
Yeah.
karma. I don't know.
Yeah.
So another one. We only have 2 left, so don't worry, guys. I'm not going to take much of your time.
No problem.
So let's go. Who is most likely to be a role model for the group?
I guess so. I guess that would be me. I guess. I don't know. I guess. I mean, but I guess I would have the biggest interest in doing it. So I guess. I don't know.
What?
I mean, he's probably the one who like thinks the most about like how to do and how to behave properly, how to, you know, be nice and stuff. It's not that the rest of us doesn't think about it, but like a drummer thinks about it too much. Like, he's constantly overthinking, which is also like, and then he's like the guy who overthinks it so much that he rather does nothing before he makes a mistake or something. And yeah, I mean, he's like the one who thinks the most about it in a like in a proper amount.
And I'm also like I'm right now TikTok, so I think that yeah, it's I don't know.
Like the mind of the group.
Sorry, again.
You're like the mindset of the group.
I mean, we're all kind of the mind of the group, but I'm like the first instant, like the first. I know, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
So I'll read the questions on the comments. But guys, big love from Argentina. We love you. It's a comment.
We love to come. We love to come to Argentina one time. I don't know, one day.
Yeah, I hope so. You deserve it. So, last question. Who is most likely to stay up all night scrolling or on their phone?
I guess it's me.
I guess it's Simon. Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
I mean, he doesn't stay up all night scrolling on his phone, but he does stay up all night overthinking everything. So yeah.
I'm also like
Simon. Okay.
I'm kind of a night guy sometimes. Sometimes like I just stay up all night in general. That's kind of my thing. Empire, basically. I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's the answer of most artists. Like, I'm a guy person. I'm a night person. So, we have a question here. Lou on tour is asking, "What is your favorite movie?"
That's a tough one.
It's the same with the series. There are so many good movies out there.
There are so many good movies out there.
I mean, one of them is definitely The Dark Knight. I mean, the whole trilogy basically, but especially the second one, The Dark Knight.
I guess for me, I mean, that's a quite cheesy one because everyone like that is into movies says that. But for me, I guess it's Pulp Fiction. I think.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
But
I love that movie.
Yeah, I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, so for me, I guess it's Pulp Fiction. But there's a lot of
Interstellar also. I think Interstellar is definitely. I think Interstellar is also like one of the best, already one of the best movies that will ever be.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino, like.
But there are a lot of. It's hard to decide which one. But I guess,
well.
to be honest, I also really like Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, I wanted to say that too. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
But I noticed that some people have like later on had a problem with the movie, like problems I understand. So but I liked it when it was one of my favorite movies when I was a teenager, I think. But yeah, I guess I'll go for Pulp Fiction, I think.
Great choice. So, hi, Brazil loves you. I hope you know that.
Thank you.
They are saying in the comments, we have weird questions here. So this guy is asking, how did you come up with the name Lonely Spring? It's a curiosity. It's a fun fact. They didn't tell me also, so... What's your favorite water?
Water. Like the brand. What's your favorite water brand?
That's something I don't really get. Like people.
And I also like. I don't want to say something about drink brands because I'm like I don't know. I don't want to like support any of these. Like making money out of water. I don't know. I don't think that's a great thing. So I think that the best water is the one you get from the sink.
Yeah.
So don't pay for. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't pay for your water.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be allowed.
So basically, I like never when I'm like at home. Or in my hometown, I never pay.
No, I never. I also, if the water that comes out of your sink is if that one is drinkable, then yes,
that's fine.
I think you shouldn't be. I mean, paying for water is just it's just so weird to me. I mean, it is a thing in the world, but it's just weird why do you like those companies? Why do they privatize?
Yes,
But yeah,
you have.
yeah.
So there's a question here in German. My German is so awful. It doesn't exist at all. So guys, can you read? It's like Melanie.May16.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I don't know.
It's the last question on the comments. Right down.
Yeah. Should I just answer it in German? I just answer it in German, right?
Yeah, of go.
Okay. Seid ihr noch in Passau daheim? Ja, wir sind noch immer in Passau daheim und wir haben auch heute ein Video hochgeladen, wo wir Leute in Passau befragen. Genau. Sind noch immer in Passau daheim und werden es wahrscheinlich auch noch ein bisschen bleiben.
He said it all.
Ja.
He said it all. Indeed, I'm not questioning.
He
So
just asked us if we still live in the town we were living. It's called Passau, and yeah. And I just said we're still living there, and we probably will continue doing that for I don't know how many years, I guess.
So what is the dream country you'd like to visit? Yeah, a country that you really want to visit.
I mean, we already had some great opportunities to listen to in other countries, so that's great. Through also through like making music, we had to the opportunity to travel to parts of the world where we never thought we would actually be able to go to. But I guess let's say in terms of playing a show, I would love to play some shows in the UK, and I would also love to play some shows in Italy. I think I don't know why, but and I also would love to play some shows in like South America. I think I guess because I heard that rock music is huge over there, and that people are really into it, and there's like the shows in like Mexico and stuff are just like kind of crazy. Like I know the live concert of My Chemical Romance that they did in Mexico. I have like the live DVD of it, and yeah, so I would love to do a show there, I think.
I would also like to do, you know, a show in Japan because
Japan. Yeah,
we've also the culture there in terms of concerts is like very different in a cool way. So that would be like a whole new experience.
And also I think like Japan is it's like the country that like I personally want to visit the most. I've never been there, but I would love to go there for some weeks. I mean, we're all huge fans of manga and anime, so and we're also like just into Japanese kind of things. But we've never been there, and yeah, I mean, I've been watching like travel videos and that kind of stuff of Japan. But it's just kind of expensive to go for a trip to Japan. So we hadn't had the opportunity yet, but I hope to play some shows there in the future, or to just visit the country privately.
Yeah, I hope guys can make a show in Japan, so you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, that would be great. We love to do that. Japan tour 2023.
We hope so. There is a question here. So, what was your first concert ever? Do you remember?
Mine was Green Day.
Mine was Rise Against.
Yeah. Green.
Great.
I think it's quite like it fits. Just it's the first show I've ever been to, and it's probably one of the bands that influenced me the most during my teenage years. So yeah. I guess that makes sense.
So what has been your favorite concert location so far?
Like in terms of the ones we played a show in, or like
Yeah, the ones you played the show in.
I don't know.
yeah, that's kind of I don't know. There are a lot of
They don't know, guys.
been a lot of
So many
great
shows, and there
places,
were so many.
great places. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I it's I don't know what was the greatest location or what was the greatest venue, but like one of the greatest places we ever played a show in was in Poland, and it was what was the name?
I don't know.
I forgot the name of the city. It was in
Oh, Wrocław. I don't know how to pronounce.
yeah,
That's
Wrocław.
probably
I
not
like
that's
in
not
English say Wrocław, but we forgot what it's like.
like we
What it's actually pronounced
our
in their
photo
native
guy,
language.
our photo and video guy who was with us there on tour is actually from Poland. Like his parents are from Poland, and I think, and yeah, he's still got family there. So actually, we also visited them, and they told us how to properly pronounce the name. But
Yeah, but I forgot all about it. But that was one of the greatest shows we've ever played, and it was on one hand, it was so great to be in a country like Poland because we've never been there before and never been there after that show, and it just yeah, it was a great experience to do what you do all day, to do that in a country so far away. I mean, it's not too far away from our hometown, but kind of way. So yeah, that was great. And the people there were just lovely. They really appreciated everything that we did and was so special to them. So that was yeah, that was probably one of the greatest shows we ever did.
I think one of the coolest venues we've ever played a show at was, it's called the Wiezemann in Stuttgart, and that one is just like, I think it's just a very new venue.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, and like that. What is so cool about the venue are the backstage rooms, because they're like really new, and like the showers and stuff are like really.
It's all about the showers.
Yeah,
the showers are great.
Actually, that's like, no, it's not all about the showers. But like when you're on tour, like for quite some time, you like it's those things for me. Like I really appreciate when like you always also have like shitty showers and stuff, and that's fine, you know. That's okay. But sometimes when you just get to the bathroom and it's like really new and really high class, and the shower is just great. Like for me, that's like that's like one of the coolest things a venue can have. Definitely the shower.
Of course, you have a point. So conditions are necessary to artists. So provide them to artists.
Yeah, but
make sure the showers are great. Everything else comes second.
Maybe
No, yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but that's something that's really pleasing.
Yeah, it's
not something you need, but when you have it, it's like really great.
I mean, I don't really care as long as if there's some kind of
thoughts like with a great.
I don't really care. I'm
happy.
Yeah.
Okay, that is just me.
So, are you guys ready for Friday? Voted.
Yeah. We are.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. What else?
So, the Eurovision is asking, did you heard any Eurovision 2023 song?
So far.
Have you already? Yeah.
We obviously have heard the ones from our contestants. I mean, I have listened to 3 or 4 of other countries. I think one is, I forgot the name of the artist, and I think it was Sweden, and there was one that I really liked, I guess, but I forgot which country and what the artist's name is. But I'm just, like most of the time, I'm just scrolling through my phone, and just something regarding the Eurovision pops up on my phone. I'm just clicking on it and listening to it. and if I like it, I just yeah, I just keep
Yeah.
on. But yeah, I don't know. I have listened to a few Eurovision artists of this year already, but I don't remember
The
which one.
names.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
countries. I think it was like the one I liked the most was, I guess, Sweden, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either, because Sweden hasn't choose the
Oh,
song.
then, but is that maybe it was also in? Do they have like the semi-finals or something at the moment?
Yeah, they
Maybe
are in
like
the process.
I
yeah.
have listened to a song, but I don't know if this is the song that they bring to Liverpool. It wasn't anything like that. It was, what was the country? But it was like Ollie or something with a song called Venom. I kind of
Oh,
like.
that's great. That song was in the Estonian national
Yeah,
final,
that was it.
but it ended up in second place. But it's a great
Oh,
song.
because I don't know, that popped up somewhere, and there was a snippet of it. And I thought like that's cool, and the vocals are like still melodic, and I kind of like that. And then I listened to the song, and that's one that's stuck with me because yeah, that's a cool rock
It's a
song.
great song. Yeah, it's a great song indeed. Guys, I'm not taking any much of your time. Thank you so much for accept our invitation. It was so fun to do this with you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Much so.
Do you have any message to your fans, for people in German who will vote for you on Friday? Tell us.
I mean, we do hope that everybody that is watching and everybody that follows us on Instagram and or any kind of platform and likes our music, that everybody votes for us. It doesn't matter if it's via telephone or via online voting. But yeah, if you give pop punk a chance to participate at the Eurovision Song Contest, it would be awesome. And yeah, thank you all so much for supporting us. Even like it doesn't matter what like Friday brings and what comes after that, but it's just we're so grateful for all the support that we already got from you guys, and it's yeah,
I think it's
we're
just,
really grateful for
yeah.
everybody out there watching and
Yeah.
everybody out there supporting us. It's you guys are the greatest people on earth, and you make that everything that we do possible. So we know that, and we're more than grateful to have all of you. So yeah, thanks.
Guys, thank you so much. People, you have to vote on Lonely Spring on Friday. So don't miss the show and don't forget to vote. Their songs are great. Guys, thank you so much for this. And
No problem.
maybe we'll meet in Liverpool. Who knows?
We would love to. Let's see.
Me too. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
See you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.